Hello, and welcome back to the Food Freedom Podcast. We are your hosts, Becca.
And I'm Abby.
Thank you for copying my hand gesture. That's great.
You're welcome.
How has your week been, Abby?
It's been good. It's been good. Yeah, not too bad at all, actually. Had a bit of a energy. That's what I'm talking about. Had a bit of an energy dip on the days. But yeah, not too bad to be fair. How's yours been?
It's been okay. It's been up and down.
Mhm.
I have suffered with my hormones a bit this week, which is always fun. And had a bit of gym anxiety, which I didn't enjoy. But on the whole, it's been a positive week. Lots of good things have happened.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to remember what I did last week. I went to a new gym as well, actually.
you did.
Yeah. Yeah. I had anxiety about that as well.
Yeah, it's
Great.
fun, isn't it, when you get gym anxiety?
Oh, lovely. It's lovely. No, it's
Don't
not.
worry, everybody. We will talk about that on another podcast.
Great idea.
Um, so I thought it would be nice on these podcasts for us to start off with three positives from our week, because I think that personally, along my mental health journey, doing three positives every day has really helped me to have a more positive outlook on life. And
Yeah.
it's a small tip that can help people in general, like I said, all of my clients, because it really does make a difference, even though you feel really stupid when you start doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So, would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Oof. That's fine, I'll go. My three positives from the week is I stuck to my meal plan, apart from
Great.
one day where I adjusted, but for me, adjusting is quite a big thing.
Yeah,
So I'm
definitely.
quite proud of that. I prioritize my sleep as well,
Wonderful.
which I'm proud of. And I got out on a walk with my doggies,
Aww.
and they were really cute and waggy tailed,
Oh,
which always makes
lovely.
me smile. So yeah, these are
Very
my
good. Mine were I did a 4.5k run today, which is the furthest I've done in a while, so I was quite proud of that. Um, I went puppy shopping on Saturday because I'm getting a puppy very, very soon. In fact, I may already have the puppy by the time this is aired. But
exciting.
yes, I've been shopping and bought her lots of lovely things, so that's fun. And my third thing is I went shopping with my mum on Sunday, which was nice in itself. But we went to Pizza Hut.
Mhm.
And like I said about this on my story, like I used to go to Pizza Hut with my mum as a kid, like every year on my birthday, because we loved the like we'd have pizza, and then the ice cream factory was like the best thing when you're a kid, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was full of
yeah.
sweets and chocolate and
All the
sauces.
toppings. There's so many toppings. Although I feel like they don't have as many
They
now.
have none. They have no
Yeah,
sweets. It's just sprinkles, which is a
it's
bunch of
awful.
rubbish. But that's not the point. The point is, me and mum went back there together, and we both really enjoyed it. And neither of us thought about the calories or what. It was just one of those moments where you think like, yes, I've got somewhere.
Yeah, true. And I think that's good as well to kind of realize how far you've come as well. Because
Yeah,
like at the start, I think there's so much information out there and you get so confused by it all. And then you kind of, when you take a step back, like you almost don't realize because it's so small. And then like you take a step back and you're like, oh my God, I did. It's like the little wins.
change takes a
So,
long time.
so long.
And like you said, you don't see it because you see yourself every day and you do the things every
Mm,
day. But then when you suddenly do something you haven't done for a long time, you're suddenly like, oh my God, this is so different from the last time.
yeah, yeah. It is crazy. It's
But
crazy.
yes, so today's episode, we are going to be talking about how to start your fitness journey, because, or not even just your fitness journey, just getting healthier in general,
Yeah. Whether that's mental, physical, nutrition,
all of
whatever,
those.
happiness.
Because as we said on our last podcast, finding the information out there is so difficult, and getting started is one of the hardest things. And there's so many like no-nos that people do that I want to address on this podcast
Mm-hmm.
to help, so that you don't
Make
go down the panic route and you
make
learn
your life easier.
exactly. um so I thought what I would do for this one is sort of go through what I would do with a normal client if someone had signed up with me. So Abby, would you like to be my client? I know you are
Sure.
my client, but my my client for this podcast.
Sure.
So when I start my calls with people, the first thing that we talk about is their goals, because there is no point starting something if you don't know what you're trying to get out of it. Like, it's no good just saying, I want to be fitter, I want to be healthier, because yes, you do, but you're never going to know what that point is unless you've got a SMART target that's going to get you to it.
Mm-hmm. Goal setting is so crucial.
It really is.
To anything, and it keeps you motivated, it keeps you committed.
Exactly. So we set a SMART target of something that they want to achieve, and we do an 8-week goal and we do a long-term goal, because 8 weeks is the perfect amount of time to start seeing progress. Like, progress should not be straight in a week, because that's not sustainable. Progress should take time, because you've spent years building up habits and problems in your head or whatever it is. It doesn't just go away in a week. So we want to set a good amount of time to get to that goal.
Yeah.
And then we want a longer term goal, because say your goal is to lose 2 stone, that's not going to happen in 8 weeks. So we set a longer goal for it. I realised I've asked you to be my client. I'm not going to ask you to tell me your goals, because you don't have to do that if you don't want to.
I mean, I'll make them up if you want, based on, like, not obviously my initial ones, but
yeah, we'll do some theoretical things to make it.
that I'd set myself now. So I, just a bit of context, have recently got back into lifting like bigger weights, let's say, for my squats and deadlifts recently. So I would say that, like, my 8-week goal would definitely be to, like, increase them a bit.
Okay. How can we make that more specific? Because increase a bit is not a specific goal.
Exactly. I was hoping you'd catch on. So I would say that in per week, I would like to increase the reps. Oh, how am I going to do this? So I would like to add on 10 kilograms to each of them by the end of 8 weeks.
Okay, so in the end of the 8 weeks, not each week.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the end of 8 weeks, yeah.
That in itself is a smart goal, because you know when your deadline is, you know exactly what you want to achieve by that point. It's achievable, because 10 kilos isn't a massive amount, but when you're someone that struggled to lift heavy for a while, it's a good amount to aim for. And I can't remember what the other letter is. Specific, measurable. It's measurable. You can physically see it happen.
Sustainable, it's realistic, and it's timed.
Yeah. So that would be a perfect 8-week goal. So once we've done that, once you've set yourself a goal, because like I said, if you don't know why you are doing this or what you're doing it for, you're never going to get there, because you've got no motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is so key.
Yeah. Although I think it's important to say that you shouldn't rely on motivation necessarily. I think initially, obviously, it's a good thing, but yeah, like, I think it's also useful for people that are going into it to know that you shouldn't necessarily rely on motivation, because motivation will come and go.
Like, exactly. But by having your goals and your why, when you do lack in motivation, you can go back to that reason and know that will get you to where you want to be. So that's where we start with. We would then normally work out your calories, which obviously is specific to each person. So I can't sit on this podcast and tell you what your calories are going to be. I wish I could, but it's not that simple. But basically, you need to be eating the right amount for your body. So you either need to find out what your calories are by signing up with a coach or a nutritionist or whatever, or you can do it the slightly longer way round, where you just start tracking your food on MyFitnessPal. You pay attention to your weight for a few weeks. You work out what you can eat and stay the same weight. And if your weight is not changing, you bring it down by 100 calories. And each time you adjust it a little bit. So that would be the free way of finding out what you should be eating. But obviously, if you can afford a coach, it does make it a lot easier.
I feel like you should put a disclaimer out there to say, if you are doing your calories yourself, do not use MyFitnessPal to calculate your calories for you. And for the love of God, please do not put yourself on anywhere less than like 1,400 calories a day.
Exactly those points. That is, so MyFitnessPal is a brilliant app, and it is very good at
Tracking.
letting you learn what's in your food and work out how many calories you've got, all of that. But the algorithm in MyFitnessPal that tells you how many calories to eat doesn't take into account your height or your weight, or you could put in there that you want to lose £3 a week, and that's not a sustainable amount of weight to lose per week. Therefore, it's going to put you on a non-sustainable amount of calories per week. So as Abby said, like, I personally have never put anyone below 1,400 calories, because toddlers and kids need that many calories, and think how small they are compared to you. So yeah, I would urge you to never go below that number, please.
Yeah, no, definitely not. If you do, obviously, if you can't have a coach, a good way to do it, I think it's the Benedict Harris calorie calculator or something like that.
Yeah,
Or I know the James Smith PT, he has one, I think, on his website.
he does, yeah.
Um,
There's plenty out there that can calculate it for
yeah.
you. So yeah, definitely do that. So yeah, so we would do the food, go through that with you. In terms of protein, carbs, and fat splits, I tend to start everybody on 15% protein, 55% carbs, and 30% fat. Again, use an online calculator to do it for you, because there is 4 grams per calorie of protein and carbs, and there is 9 grams per calorie of fats. So it does get a bit difficult doing the percentages and the math side of things. But back on to starting your journey. Another tip that I have is knowing that when you start a journey, you will fail at some point.
Yeah.
It will go wrong.
Yeah.
And if you start your journey knowing that that it's going to go wrong at some point, you know what to do when it starts going wrong.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that most people like forget. Like they hate failure, and like I get it, because no one likes to fail, but at the same time I feel like it's those people that learn from it, like reevaluate, see what they did wrong, and learn from it, that kind of succeed more. Like I think that, I don't know if it was a quote or something that I saw online, but it was like the most successful people will fail and fail time again until they get it right, and that's why they're so successful, because they've had to fail so many times. They didn't just kind of give up and accept that.
The thing, humans have this, and every human has it, so don't feel guilty if you do, but we have an all or nothing mindset. We think we've either got to be all into something, and if we fall out by one thing, that's it, it's nothing, we're done, the diet's over, and then we start again Monday because we've ruined this week. And that's where so many people trip up on their journeys, because they fail out one thing, and to them that's everything ruined.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was just going to say, like, I think it's also important to note, if you're starting out, that sort of like, it's not all or nothing. It's about prioritizing what is good for you. So like each week can be different. So like in a few weeks' time, I'm not going to be able to prioritize the gym.
Yeah.
And I probably won't go. But actually, as long as I know it and I account for it, then it's okay, because it's all right to shift every now and again. You don't have to be all on one thing, because you're not going to realistically be able to do everything. It's all about prioritizing.
And that's the thing, you've got 2 ways of doing it. So some things you can plan for. If you know you're going on holiday, or your birthday's coming up, or you're going out for some drinks with some friends and you know it's coming, you can plan ahead, and you can either look at the menu ahead and know what you're going to have, or you can accept that that weekend it's your birthday, that is what it is.
Go and enjoy yourself.
Exactly, because that's life, you need to live. Or there are the things that happen that you don't plan for. So for example, maybe you've just got into the gym, it's going really well, and you injure yourself. Like that can be one of the hardest things to stop you on your journey, because especially if it's like a body part that you need to use for a lot of exercises. So for example, I have hurt my knee quite a long time ago, but it still affects me now, because knees are obviously useful when you're doing anything. And when it happened, I had the whole, oh my God, I've just got into this. It's all ruined now because I can't do this and I can't do that. And you go into a negative spiral of all the things you can't do. So the thing you need to do when that happens is think of the things you can control, the things you can do. So I couldn't go to the gym and do a leg day, but I could go to the gym and I could do upper body. I couldn't go to the gym and do leg day, but I can still count my steps. I can still make sure I'm eating great food. And it's learning to focus on the good things, like how we've said at the start of this episode, doing your positives each day means that then you know when things go wrong, okay, that's a problem, but what can I do about it? Because there's always something you can do.
Yeah. And it's almost turning that thing of instead of going, oh, I've ruined it for the week, I'll start again on Monday. Instead now it's and I would always advise this, it's when you get to Monday, reevaluate the past week and go, actually this week I'm going to work on this. I'm going to try and focus on this instead, whether that's your nutrition, water, sleep, exercise, steps, well-being, journaling, reading, whatever it is that's going to help you in your journey. It's just reevaluating that every week, so you're constantly kind of checking in with yourself, basically.
Exactly. And I just want to address the whole start again Monday thing. Some random person somewhere in this timeline of humans decided a Monday was a Monday and a Tuesday was a Tuesday. There is physically no difference between a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. They are all just days in our lives, and we have limited days in our lives. So sad as it is, we don't know how many days we get to live for. So waiting until Monday every week, and I know that people wait till Mondays because most people work Monday to Friday. It's easier to control what you're eating at work because you're busy, you're not thinking about food, you feel like you're starting a fresh week, and that is understandable. But for example, you, Abby, you don't work Monday to Friday. No. So you saying I'll start again Monday, there is no need to say that because to you, you start your work week on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky because I feel like this is a good time to put out. I work part-time because I also do a uni degree. So it depends what you classify as work, I guess. Because like, yeah, my set routine would more start Wednesday, but then like I do uni stuff Monday. Basically.
Oh, I know you're busy, but I just mean in general, like your work week isn't Monday to Friday.
No.
Therefore, to you, there would be no point saying I'm going to start Monday because it's no different.
No, exactly.
And I think this whole mentality of separating the weekend from the week is where so many people go wrong because they think, well, the weekend is the time where I can eat what I want, I can go out and see my friends, I can do all these things, which yes, you can, and you should socialize and live your life. But that doesn't mean, one, you can't do that on weekdays. Like, who says you can't go for a meal with your friend on a Wednesday? Like, that's not going to ruin your diet.
Yeah, no.
But also, like, a day is a day. I cannot stress it enough. Like, a day is what you make of it. Therefore, it starting again on Monday is stupid. Like, I remember when I went vegetarian, like this was 5 years ago now. I had been thinking about it for a while and I was like, I think I could, but I was quite a fussy eater and I didn't know if it was going to be the right thing for me and if I'd like the food. And I was like, I'm going to go vegetarian. And I'd thought about this and it was a Wednesday. And I'm very much an OCD person. So to me, the week is Monday to Sunday and all of that stuff. But I thought, right, I'm going to go vegetarian. And I just went home that day and I said, I'm vegetarian now. I didn't eat the meat I had for dinner. I cooked pasta and cheese or something just because I didn't have any veggie substitutes. And I just started. And that was the most unlike me thing to do, to start on a Wednesday. But in my head, I'm thinking, well, if I want to go vegetarian to save animals' lives, they don't care if it's a Monday. They just want me to start saving them.
I think so. It's a common like psychological term that we call like readiness scales. So like, if it's also to do with commitment, but the basic factor is like, if you're ready to commit now, you almost really want it.
Yeah.
Like if you are prepared to start now, it's because your like reasons have aligned with the fact that you really want to do it. And so the fact of if you are really willing to like start now, like if you were literally just like, I'm going to switch it on, I'm going to do it, it means that you have almost mentally prepared yourself for it.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if you are saying, oh, I'll start again on Monday, you almost need to realign your values and beliefs with the goal that you want to achieve. Or maybe, you know, you're going about it a little bit wrong.
Yeah, you don't want it enough. If you're waiting until Monday, you'll wait
Yeah.
until Monday so that you can spend the next however many days eating what you want and not having to try
Yeah.
because you're going to start Monday. So you've
Yeah.
got the excuse of, well, I'm starting Monday, so I can do all this now before Monday comes.
But then I think that's also a common thing because people think that they almost need like a cheat weekend or like the cheat, and I say this very like, you know, because they think that they can't eat it if they're being good. I mean, this is obviously to do with food, but
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, they think that they can't eat that stuff when they're on a diet. So they kind of cram it all in, which is why they say it, which again is not true. You can eat burgers, you can eat pizza, you can eat ice cream, you can eat chocolate, you can eat avocados, you can eat whatever.
Anything. But this is where, coming back to the point of the podcast, sorry, I've gone a bit off.
We've gone off on a tangent.
Yeah, I think they're important tangents. But coming back to getting started, just tracking your calories in itself is somewhere to start. Like realizing that how many calories are in one thing compared to another, or how much protein is in something, or how much calcium is in something. That is the best place to start becoming healthier because you're teaching yourself things.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, a lot of people have this misconception of when they start a diet, they are going to start by being really good. So I'm on a diet, I'm on this health kick, I'm going to be feeling better. So this week I've gone shopping and I bought loads of salad, loads of chicken, no chocolate bars because I don't need them. And I'm going to have chicken salad every day for my dinner because I'm on a health kick, and yeah. And then you get to and then you get to Wednesday and you go, oh my God, chicken salad, I don't want this.
No.
And you crave something else. Don't do that. Please, please, please don't do that. Like I said, just track the food you would normally eat, learn where you're going wrong.
Yeah.
Like see how many calories are in things. But most importantly, as you said, allow yourself to have the things you want.
Yeah.
Because that is being healthy. Like being healthy is eating, as I don't remember if I said this on a podcast or on the Facebook group, but eating healthy means eating healthy for your body and giving it what it needs, but it means giving your brain what it needs. And that's happy foods like chocolate or pizza or whatever it is that makes you feel good.
Yeah. And I think as well, fitting in to your lifestyle. And I think that's a thing that when you're starting out, people think they have to change their whole life around. They have to be like a very much healthier version of themselves. And you don't necessarily need to do that. It will come with time. It's like a snowball effect almost. You do little things and it will kind of help, and it will, you know, I've forgotten the words, build up over time. So you need to make sure that it kind of fits into your lifestyle as well. And it doesn't need to be huge, massive changes. Like most of the people that you see on Instagram, they didn't do it like that.
No.
They would have done it little and often, and that's why they continue to do it, because they've built up that momentum to kind of build up to it.
Like you said, it's your journey. So there's no point saying I'm going to be healthy, I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week and I'm going to do this if you've never gone to the gym.
Yeah.
Like being healthy doesn't mean you need to be your healthiest every day. No. Being healthy just means doing something better than the day before.
Yeah.
Like if last week you're someone that doesn't drink a lot of water, most people will be like, right, well then I need to drink 2 liters every day because that's how much a person should drink, and but you only ever drink half a liter. Just have a week where you focus on drinking a liter every day. Build it up slowly, because one, you'll be on the toilet a hell of a lot if you suddenly jump 2 liters. I've been there, it's not fun. So build it up slowly for your bladder's sake. But 2, you're not going to want to suddenly go to 2 liters of water, and it's not sustainable because you're suddenly doing a huge change to your body.
Yeah. And I think that's important as well. Like it's a journey. It's not a sprint. It is a journey that takes time. Like, you know, you chip away at it, and you know, sometimes there's hills and there's rocks and there's bumps in the road, but eventually you will get to the end goal. It's just sometimes you have to take the long-winded way.
Yeah.
And
a lot of the time your end goal changes. Like,
yeah,
you get to it and you realize that it's not the thing that's going to make you happiest. Like, the thing that's helped me the most in my journey is realizing that, again, coming back to the beginning, what my why is. When I started my fitness journey, my why was I wanted to weigh X amount of weight. I wanted to have abs. I wanted to look like X, Y, and Z people on Instagram. Now, my why is just, I want to be healthy. Like, I want to live a healthy lifestyle so that I can live as long as I want to. I can look after my kids. I can help my grandparents. And me looking a certain way doesn't achieve those goals, but me drinking water, me eating nutritious foods, me moving my body keeps me healthy. And there is no end goal to that. It's just living healthily and enjoying myself.
yeah, exactly. It's so true. How did you start your journey? I feel like we're talking about, you know, how did you start your journey? How did you start your journey? Because I don't think even I know. How did you kind of get into the whole fitness, eating better?
So I've always, well, I said at school I hated PE. I never exercised. I was the fussiest kid. I lived off of Nutella on toast every day for breakfast, like genuinely throughout. I hated cereal. I would just have Nutella on toast every day. So I wasn't healthy. I also, this is probably TMI, but I really struggled with going to the toilet. Like, I just wasn't healthy. I wasn't fat, but I wasn't healthy. And then I started, so I've always done dancing. So I did street dance when I was younger. So I guess that kept me fit, but it was the only kind of exercise I liked.
Yeah.
And then I went through teenage life and started growing up and realized I was putting on weight, went through something and got depressed and started eating a lot. It was around Easter time. I ate so many Easter eggs and joined a gym just because I wanted to try it.
Yeah.
It petrified me. I went to one class a week with a colleague, and then it just snowballed into an addiction because it felt good. But then, as I'll talk about on another podcast, it then spiraled a bit out of control from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like at that point when I was really depressed and down, I started it because I wanted to not be depressed, but also I was getting to a weight I wasn't happy with. And I thought that to be happy, I needed to be skinny. So the journey started.
Fair. So it was more mental to begin with in one way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. What about you? How did you start your journey?
So mine, I mean, I've always been to like sport when I was younger. I didn't hate PE. I wasn't great at PE, but like outside of school, I really liked it. And when I was
test at school, sorry,
the
did
bleep
you do the bleep test?
I don't think at school, but at rowing we did all the time.
Oh, it's awful thing. I hate it.
Oh yeah, it's terrible, terrible. Although they did make us run around the AstroTurf for like 21 minutes or something. Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I was like 13, 14, I think it was, 15 maybe, I started rowing. And like I'd always done swimming and gymnastics and stuff as I was growing up. But yeah, when I was like that age, I went rowing. And I wasn't necessarily like a really unhealthy weight at that time. I mean, I've always been like bigger than everyone else, even when I was little. So I think I was always conscious of like my weight and stuff, but like it didn't really bother me up to that point. And then I joined this rowing club and I loved it. And we were exercising a lot and stuff like that. But everyone was always smaller than me. And I think being around
thing.
Yeah, and I think the coaches were always very like, you know, when you're in a boat and you're weighing it down, the more weight that's in the boat.
There's a lot of pressure on you, isn't there?
And I think that's kind of how mine started, was that I wanted to be skinny because of it. And I was also exercising at the same time. And I didn't know anything about healthy eating or, you know, the correct way to lose weight because, you know, there wasn't a lot out there. And I think because I was so young as well, you don't get taught it at school and anything like that. Like, I don't think social media was necessarily that big of a thing back then either. So yeah, and I think I overheard this one girl actually that was like a few years above me, and she was like, oh yeah, I just like don't really eat. Or she was like, I've only had like a biscuit or two today. And I was like, oh, okay. That's
what we're supposed to do.
yeah. And so yeah, I think that's kind of how mine started. But then I didn't really my eating disorder definitely started around then. But I didn't
Words
get
are
it.
so powerful, aren't they? Like,
Yeah.
to think that you can literally hear someone say something once and that starts a whole, again, like
Yeah.
you say, a snowballing thing that just builds
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. But then I think as well, because I was around people that kind of were very healthy or like, very into their sport, like it was quite a toxic thing. Like we used to be weighed when we were there, which didn't help either. And also I think because I'd gone from not doing a lot of exercise to suddenly like 3-4 times a week, very intense exercise versus not really eating, I lost so much weight so quickly, and it almost like negatively reinforced it in my head because I was like, oh, this is great, I'll keep doing it, and it obviously created bad behavior. But I didn't really get to the gym until like I was 18, 19. I think we had like a free gym pass from school, but I always stuck in the cardio areas because I didn't know what I was doing. So that was fun.
Because I didn't do, like, I did PE at school, but because I wasn't one of the sporty people, we had a gym at school and I would never go in it because I always thought that, like, I wasn't one of the cool kids, so they'd take the mick if I went in there and stuff. And I didn't know what I was doing, so I just never did it.
Yeah,
Part of me now is like, why? Like,
yeah,
there is no difference between me and them, and those people now are like, I made friends with them eventually once I stopped being intimidated by them.
Yeah, I don't know, I think because I'd always done more cardio based things, I was more used to cardio, and like the weight seemed to really scare me. I think it was still that stigma of like girls shouldn't lift.
No, weights are for men.
Yeah, I think that was kind of like the stigma for it. But, and it is scary, I think, if you've never been before.
Oh,
I
it's
think,
terrifying.
yeah, getting into it is hard.
You're so scared of making a mistake and someone in there looking at you. Like, if you walked into an empty gym, you would be okay because you'd be able to fiddle around, look at it, and not worry. But as soon as there's another person in that gym, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to make a fool of myself in front of them.
Yeah. And I think that's important for people as well. If you're starting out, try and go to the gyms at the quieter times, but also talk to the PTs there because they do just want to help, and they're probably thankful that you're talking to them and they're not just around.
And everyone in that gym is in there for themselves.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds bad, but you're in your own bubble in the gym. You're training for you. It's your time. You're not thinking, oh, that person over there is doing that wrong.
And they've all started from somewhere as well. And actually, it's the people that you're almost scared of more are the people that will cheer you on the most as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I do get it's very hard to start out, but yeah.
So I think we should probably wrap up this episode a little bit. So I think we should end on some top tips for starting that are small changes. So you briefly mentioned them earlier. So first one I'm going to mention, we'll take it in turn.
Yeah, okay.
First one I'm going to mention is don't underestimate water. Like, drinking plenty of water will make a difference to your health. For example, as soon as I started drinking more water, I started going to the toilet more regularly.
Yeah. I'm going to go for goal setting.
Yeah.
And I think don't create unrealistic goals. Create ones that you think you can achieve, but also I would always suggest when you're goal setting as well as the SMART goals, do one that would be your absolute best. Like if you top tier, got it absolutely done, there was no issues. One that you would be like your highest one that you would set yourself if kind of things went a little bit wrong, like if you were ill one week or things were less than optimum, one goal for that. And then one that you'd be happy, like would be minimum level, like you'd be happy with, but you'd be a bit annoyed as well, but like the minimum level that you do, because that's where you can like adjust your goals to how your weeks go. Like I said, priority. But yeah, that was kind of 2 in 1.
That's all right. So my next one would be take each day as it comes. Like, don't try and plan your month ahead and say I'm going to do this for a month and blah blah blah. Just take each day as it is. Wake up each day and do the healthy habits. Wake up, have some water, move your body, whether it's a 5-minute walk or a gym session or a run or a dance class or whatever it is, move your body. And these are kind of tips within tips, but like sleep, focus on your sleep. Because again, sleeping is when your body does its magic. And if you don't have enough time to sleep, your body can't do the things it needs to do to make you healthy.
Yeah, definitely. My next one would be, if things don't go your way, don't beat yourself up for it. Don't spend the next few days really annoyed at yourself, brush it under the carpet. The next day is a new day, and just focus on making it better. Try to not beat yourself up, because I've spent so much time beating myself up over past mistakes, and it does not get you anywhere.
And my last one is going to be food related, because I feel like it should be. If you're starting your journey, either if calorie counting doesn't affect you, just count your calories for a little bit, see what is in what you are eating now. Don't change what you're eating. Just spend a week monitoring what you're eating and working out where your calories are at. If calorie counting does affect you, then I would say just focus on getting in your fruit and veg. Start with that. Make sure that, again, you don't have to go straight to 5 fruit and veg a day if you're currently at 0. Go for 2. Make sure you're getting 2 a day for the next week and see where you go from there.
Yeah. And just on a side note to that, if you are tracking calories or you are on a journey, do not weigh yourself every day. I feel like that's very important to know as well.
We will have an episode on scale weight.
Yeah, we 100%. Will do.
But yeah, scale weight, not every day.
Please do not weigh yourself.
Once a week is more than enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, just that little tip in there as well. But yes, I think that's it for today.
Well, I hope that this episode has helped you a bit with starting your journey. And obviously we are always here if anyone ever has any questions or is struggling with starting and needs a bit of help, like please message us. We're always more than happy to chat to you and help you get started, because as we said, it is the hardest part of the fitness journey, is just getting started.
Yes, please do message us, because we've both been through it and we know it's very hard, and we just want to save you time and effort.
Exactly.
To be honest.
So as I said before, if you want to follow us or give us any comments or questions about the podcasts, we are at Food Freedom with Becca on Instagram, and the website is www.freedomwithbecca.com. And I believe that is all from us. So we will catch up with you all on the next podcast.
Yes. Have a good rest of your day, guys.
And thank you for listening to us.
And think of your top 3 positives for today as well.
Yes, do your positives.
Do your positives. But yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.